Let's talk about the actual recovery timeline after a total knee replacement surgery. If you guys don't know me, my name's Tony Maritato. I'm a licensed physical therapist, and I specialize in treating patients who have had a total knee replacement. So let's break this up into several phases. The first phase is the post-acute. You just had surgery, you're discharged home. A lot of patients are going home the same day as surgery. The first day, you're kind of dazed. Even though you've been through the recovery, you're not exactly thinking clearly. So you want to make sure you have somebody who can drive you home. You have somebody you can trust that can stay with you. Make sure that you get into the house, you get positioned, you're comfortable. And really, the pain management isn't too bad in the first 24 hours. You still have some of the residual pain management from the surgery, and then of course the surgical center or the surgeon will help you during the first 24 hours. Where things start to get tough is by day 3. By day 3, a lot of the initial medication is kind of working its way out of the system. You're taking the oral medication as prescribed, but the sleeplessness has started to accumulate. You're not getting great sleep. You're not getting great rest. Some patients will start to get dehydrated. Some patients will start to have GI issues, bathroom issues. And really, from my experience talking to thousands of people who have had knee replacements, universally, day 3 is usually the toughest. But once you get past that into day 4, 5, and 6, you start to turn a corner. You start to kind of settle in. You figure out what is your medication schedule, what is your physical therapy schedule, what things do you need to do. And by day 5, most people feel better than they did at day 3. Now, as we move on, you're starting right from discharge. Most patients in the US are going to use a forward wheel walker. Some people who need more stability will have what's called a standard walker, but by far the most popular is a forward wheel walker. This is the walker that has the wheels on the front and the skids on the back. In Europe, a lot of times you will get discharged with crutches. Crutches are more maneuverable, but they take more upper body support, and you need to be kind of a little more coordinated to use crutches. So here in the US, we tend to go with a forward wheel walker. So that first night that you're back at your house, most patients are going to sleep in a recliner if you have one. If you don't have a recliner, some patients will choose to sleep on the couch. The bed tends to be a little more challenging to get in and out, challenging to get comfortably positioned. But if you don't have a recliner and you want to sleep in bed, you can absolutely set the pillows up, whether you're sleeping on your back or on your side. And I can discuss positioning in a different video. The main thing is know that you're going to be getting up multiple times throughout the night. So if you have a partner or a spouse or somebody who's with you and you want them to get a good night's sleep, make sure they're available so they can help you, but you might also consider letting them sleep in another room or sleep somewhere where they can sleep soundly so that they're alert and awake and capable of helping you when you need it. The walker by the side of the bed to help get you to the bathroom is always important. And then what we're doing over the first week following the knee replacement, I ask my patients to prioritize multiple episodes of getting up, standing, putting weight through the surgical foot, and then just moving around the house. If somebody is drinking enough water, they're going to be getting up to go to the bathroom every 2 hours or so anyway. That is really the main thing that's going to help them build confidence and get comfortable on their feet and walking. We know that the knee itself is virtually indestructible after surgery. What we need to do, either as the patient or as a therapist helping the patient, is build confidence in knowing, okay, I can put that foot down, the knee's not going to buckle, the leg is going to hold me up. And more importantly, although it hurts, we need to understand that movement helps reduce pain. Because a lot of patients that I talk to are afraid of the pain, so they don't move. That lack of movement actually magnifies some of the discomfort, stiffness, swelling, and pain that they're feeling. So the more that they can get up and move around, the more we can pump some of that residual fluid out of the leg, the less painful, the less stiff, and the more comfortable patients are after a total knee replacement. But there's always a fine line. Don't do too much, because if you do too much, you feel worse. You have to do something, because if you do nothing, you feel worse. It's a sweet spot somewhere in the middle that we need to figure out. All right, so what is the actual timeline? You get discharged from the surgical center, let's say it's a Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, you're gonna kind of peak with stiffness, soreness, frustration from not being able to sleep. Wednesday is usually gonna be the worst day. Then by Friday into the weekend, you're going to start to turn the corner and feel a little better. A lot of patients here in the United States will start outpatient physical therapy right within the first couple of days after discharge. I usually get patients in the clinic about 48 hours after their total knee replacement surgery, as long as they have transportation and the ability to get here. Some people will receive in-home physical therapy, but the majority come to an outpatient physical therapy clinic. During the first week, the primary focus is getting up, moving around, maintaining swelling, monitoring and managing pain, and just allowing your body to heal from the surgical trauma that the leg had to go through. Once we get into weeks 2, 3, and 4, we are working on range of motion. We are looking to achieve about 90 degrees of flexion at 2 weeks is incredibly fast. 90 degrees of flexion at 4 weeks is more common. We want to get full extension, which is 0, meaning the leg is completely straight, within the first week or 2 if possible. But I've got patients that still achieve full range of motion even though it took them 4 to 6 weeks to get there. Everybody's going to be a little different. The advice you're going to hear from me and most other people is don't compare yourself to anyone else. The numbers I'm giving are just general ranges. In 2 weeks, you're going to be usually off the walker, maybe using a cane. Some people go straight to walking without an assistive device. Between 4 and 6 weeks, you're kind of getting your life back in order. You're making food, you're moving around. Most people have returned to sleeping in the bed if they were sleeping in the recliner. By 6 to 12 weeks, we're regaining most of the functional deficits that we had from surgery, meaning, we're getting up and down from a chair independently without pushing up with our hands. We're walking more, we're accumulating steps, we're accumulating time on our feet. We're reducing any kind of a limping pattern or pathological gait. And really at the 12-week mark, the majority of patients are going to kind of be back to normal between weeks 12 and let's say 6 months. You're gaining strength probably better than you had before the surgery, because before the surgery, the osteoarthritis made it so that it was almost impossible for you to do a lot of weight-bearing strengthening exercise. Now, between weeks 12 and 6 months, you're able to really do the exercises you couldn't do before. And then in most cases, by 12 months, you forgot you had the knee replacement. The knee feels as normal as it's going to feel. For some people, it feels completely normal. For other people, they still feel different. It's not unusual to still have some warmth around the knee at 12 months. It's not unusual to still be working on range of motion deficits at 12 months. One of the biggest frustrations I see here in the clinic is somebody who gets full range of motion in 6 weeks compared to somebody who is struggling at 6 months to get more than 100 degrees of flexion. What I try to tell that person is, if it was my knee, I would rather have a more stable but stiff knee than a very loose and unstable knee, because we can always loosen a tight knee. We cannot always tighten a loose knee. And if a knee is loose, it is unstable. It's really hard to manage that. So everybody can improve range of motion throughout the rest of your life. If there was a window, like you'll see some people will say 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 12 weeks, you have to get your range of motion back or you'll never get it. That's not true. Because if that was true, somebody who goes to a yoga class in their 50s for the first time would never be able to increase mobility. But they do, they can. Connective tissue, muscle, the nervous system, there's lots of ways to improve range of motion. Yes, the post-surgical healing might be finished in 12 weeks, but you can always increase range of motion throughout the rest of your life if that's something that you're working on, if that's something that's important to you. So if you have more questions, this was kind of a shotgun approach to, what to expect, what are the time frames, what's the average. But I want you to know that everybody is different. Everybody's going to go through their journey. Some people will go faster. Some people will go slower. Some people will have different challenges. You are unique in this situation. Use this as general information, not medical advice. And go ahead and post your comments below. I look forward to answering more questions on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I hope you have the best recovery possible.